Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there. Welcome back.
Hope everybody is doing awesome out there.
Definitely. Hope you are doing really fantastic.
And we want to encourage everybody to check out more about us over on evolutionaryenergyarts.com. We want to thank those that are supporting us over on Ko-Fi and also on Patreon. Couldn't do it without you guys. Do check out the various playlists as they are unique. As you go over to Hearts Home, the first one you're really going to see besides the shorts and the newest videos kind of come out on top there, will be the mantras and then meditations, biofield tuning. This is one of the biggest ones we've done here. Healing biofield energy tuning with Cindy. It was nice to see some comments from some of our regulars that they go back to it all the time. That's the intent. So, if you can't schedule an appointment, but you have 15 minutes, go ahead, go over there, take advantage of the tuning forks, which will bring you into resonance. This is just so simple, so beautiful, so wonderful, and it really can have a big impact on you. So again, I want to encourage everybody to utilize these things and utilize them on a regular basis. Then we have great teachers and gurus, yoga, the real Yeshua, and a different look at the Bible. And we probably will be adding on as time goes and defining each of the channels. We're in the midst of big changes in our own personal life, so we've been just trying to keep up right now with everything that's going on and keep you guys informed. But in meditation today, this morning, one of the things that the guides wanted us to confer to you was just, how to use mantras, when to use certain mantras. I mean, do you have to do the exact same mantras every single day? Well, if we look to tradition, typically you would seek out a yogi, you would seek out a teacher. And I remember being a little kid and just thinking about, gosh, when I make my way to the Himalayas or what have you, this is as a little kid, I'm going to find, the right teacher for me at some point in time. And that's it. I'm going to go and just, spend my time meditating in a cave. Little did I know at that particular point in the time that I've spent entire lives doing that. And that wasn't the purpose of this life. But I have spent entire lives doing that. And, again, I'm so thankful for this beautiful, wonderful, amazing partner next to me that's helped me to uncover so many things that were just in me naturally, and now I know why so much of these things. So when do you use mantras? Well, traditionally, when you met your teacher, you were given a mantra, and that was your mantra, and you would hold on to that, and you would do that repeatedly. That would be your key to unlocking the universe, and you would get lost into it. And there is power in focusing on one, and that is kind of a traditional way of looking at it. At the same time, what I've come to realize in my own personal practice in this life, and Cindy too, we do have core mantras. Like I have really 4 that I use daily without fail. And then there's others that have come into dominance, preeminence, and then at certain times have taken a back step. But the 4 I always use on a regular basis. Sometimes we'll need certain different energies, and then we will call on those energies. We've called on the energies of Hanuman from time to time, and of Babaji, for instance. And, there's times too when I'll feel that the news is getting me too edgy, and it's time to do Kuan Yin, or maybe OMMM Padme Hum, because I need to take in a little bit more compassion and gentleness, because, doing a video on evolutionary has riled me up, and I'm irritated and angry at the system. And okay, let's shift gears. Let's go and do, either Om Mane Padme Hum, which, by the way, is a great one to build your light body and to develop the light body. It will quicken the formation and development of the Merkaba, which is your key Oh, to places unknown, absolutely. And, again, each mantra does have a different energy associated with it.
Probably the hardest part with mantras is really taking the time to learn them. I really struggled. Boy, I struggled, but I did what I had to do. I would get those little 3x5 cards and I would write them down and I would have them right in front of me and I would say them with my eyes open. Sometimes cover half, so I'm trying to get my brain used to not seeing it, and figuring it out. So that part was difficult, but after that, it's you start to open up into the intuitive part of things, and it's a lot like prayer. Prayer, you're sending a signal out into the universe. There's this thing that someone you are praying for, or this thing that you might want to occur. The difference is that these mantras are in Sanskrit and they truly change your patterning. You're repatterning yourself. So one common question people ask us, is it okay if I just say them in my head? And the answer is, oh, sure, absolutely. You can say them in your head, but you're not getting the vibration of the throat chakra, and that's not vibrating the vagus nerve. And when we're vibrating that nerve, it is sending out a different signal. So when we're working on our upper chakras, it is sending a signal out into the universe, and it's very, very effective. So Mike has 4 main mantras. I have 3, and I'm building on mine. But those 3 I usually do without fail too. So depending on your situation, you start to learn which mantra do you pick up for which thing. If you want the highest, best possible outcome for a situation for yourself or anyone else, I love doing the Gayatri mantra. Is my absolute favorite, and it really truly does connect you to the higher realms, and it gives you that ability of being up higher and looking down on the situation to see what best needs to happen, to see what you need to do for this situation, for the highest and the best outcome. If you're in a pickle, you're going for a job interview. Ganesh loves to help for job interviews. And, I just have to congratulate one of our family members. I'm so, so, so proud of her. She's out there. She's doing it. She moved out of the big city. She's making her way, and she landed this incredible job that is so fitting for her. And she was using Ganesh mantra. So it depends on the situation. So after you learn them, and then you're settled down with all the struggling of learning them, then that's when you allow the intuitive part of things to take over and just allow your soul to kind of guide you and float you along.
Yeah, absolutely. So, again, Ganesh's mantra is all about removing obstacles. And, he is a great grounding energy, a great rooting energy. It's traditional to start with Ganesh because he paves the way. And what he will do is when you call on him, he starts connecting you to whoever you need to be connected with as well. He's very gentle. He's very loving. He's very friendly. He just wants to help. I guess he would be like, his energy is that like you've been lost out in the woods forever and you come upon a shack and you meet somebody that is just living there in oneness with everything around them, and they are so happy to see you. They greet you like you are a long lost family. They take you in. They maybe even they even give you a foot massage while they're serving you something cold to drink and getting you some warm food after you're being lost in the woods or in the desert. This is the type of energy that he is. So concerned with each individual and really, really wanting to help each individual in their path. And yet they do understand the way karma works and how this universe works. So, they can't step out of the boundaries. Thus, ask and you shall receive. Again, as far as when we look to the biblical point of things, there are a lot of truths in there. They've been drowned out with a lot of the control mechanisms of this dark matrix and mixed in and intermingled. But yeah, absolutely, there are a lot of truths. We have to ask. And so while we ask, then they can actually work because we're asking for their help. They can't really help us unless we ask. This is, part of the great reveal, because then again, they don't want to interfere, but they are eager to aid. So Ganesh, to get things going, to make something that looks insurmountable, like I can't understand how we're going to get this thing done. Well, start with Ganesh, and things will start to work. The Gayatri is said that it will actually literally take away negative karma. And I think part of what it does is it brings us in alignment with the purpose of this universe in the first place. As you can see the words, it's all about coming into the original plan for soul growth, for spiritual growth, which has been, again, distorted and obscured by the dark system in the darker ages. But it shines through in the golden age, and you can still see it very clearly in the silver age, as all of this is given to us from the benevolent beings in the golden age, and they're still around in the silver age. And then this is kind of our connection to them when we're in the dark ages. For Lakshmi, it's for health and wealth, and also having that which you need to survive and thrive.
And she's really all about spiritual substance. Very important to remember that. How deep do you go within? It's not about the material wealth, although it's not a bad thing to have material wealth. That's not a bad thing at all. But most people going to Lakshmi, they are looking for the richness inside. Maybe they're feeling empty. Maybe they're feeling lonely. Maybe they're feeling they're not enough, or they just don't have enough. And Lakshmi can help you bring that fulfilling nature into your heart and soul, so you do feel like you have abundance. It's all about switching perspective. It's all about moving and shifting, because we have these external struggles, and so many times we come into the world and we see things on the outside of us, and we're trying to control everything on the outside of us to get it to fit to the inside of us. But really what we need to do is we need to adjust the inside of us to work with the outside of us, because the universe is going to do what universe is going to do. So it's up to us. If we want that thing or we want that feeling, we have to make adjustments inside.
Absolutely. And again, it all depends on what your purpose is for this life. Some people will, take vows of poverty for a particular lifetime just to work on the spiritual. Others will go ahead and, they'll work from a different angle. Perhaps they will accumulate wealth, but then be a great benefactor. Maybe they'll interact. Maybe they're accumulating wealth and utilizing it for good, and going to affect somebody that is going to end up really changing the world in a positive way. There's so many things we can't see from being in the matrix that we can understand when we're outside of the matrix more clearly. As many times, lifetimes that we might say, well, why did this lifetime end so tragically so early? Well, it could have had a formative effect on somebody else that's really going to change the world in a positive way. Again, there's also, the effects of past karma that come into play. But Lakshmi, yes, absolutely. Health and wealth and abundance. Connecting again, the Gayatri does connect us to the creator of the universe. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya does as well. And it feels like this is a connection in a personal way to me, as this does connect me to the energy, the consciousness that we know as Vishnu, who is steadfast, strong, very powerful, very loving being. The energy from Vishnu is like all the good things that you were brought up with. from the Abrahamic tradition. Like when you view, God the loving Father, that's kind of how I see Vishnu.
Mm-hmm. Somebody who, really understands the matrix like no one else, because he is the creator of all that we see. So definitely wanting to connect with him is always a good idea. And maybe some people just want to stick with prayer, and that's okay. This is all about finding what is your path. And we have seen so many amazing things happen, utilizing the mantras, that there's no way you can write that off as coincidence. Absolutely, absolutely no way. It's like, coincidence once, twice, but coincidence time after time after time when we do utilize the mantras for different things, no. So it is about following that intuition.
Absolutely. Yeah, I cannot, and I have friends that are still a little stuck where they have a hard time. They just don't want to do the Sanskrit mantras, and they stick with their generic English terms. And I keep saying to them, just try the Sanskrit mantras, because you're going to really be blown away, because they really do work. And again, it's because Sanskrit is a much higher frequency than English. It's night and day. English has come about in the darkest of the dark age, and it's totally under the controller's power, and they've twisted everything. And so when we do state things in Sanskrit, we're going back perhaps more to when we were dropping out of the golden age into the silver age. Again, when we're in the golden age, everything is telepathic, and even with most beings, it's still going to be telepathic in the silver as well. As one of the things, when you develop your Merkaba and you're able to start to recognize, you might have heard the term lucid dreaming. Really what you're doing is you're also astral projecting, and you're conscious of that. And you'll find that you never have communication problems. No, because we're all communicating telepathically. This alleviates that problem. Here, the only reason why we have the verbal side of things is because of the dark control matrix, because there is the natural matrix of creation, which is not a malignant thing. No, it's a benevolent thing. It's here for our soul growth and evolution. And so, again, this is a good one to use to connect into the original plan for this particular natural matrix, let's say.
Mm-hmm. And make no mistake. I mean, the language that we use, that we've been brought up with, is a language to cause confusion. They use this language, they put it in the laws, they put it in the courts, and they argue these things, and there's one loophole after the next. So it's all about evading some type of information you're trying to convey, but you might say something and someone comes back with something else, because they're, using the language to confuse. So it is very frustrating being in these bodies and being so limited with information. But when you are in the golden age, that can't happen. It's just not happening, because it's your vibration. It's your thoughts. It's your body language. So there is no mistaking when it comes to language and speaking in a golden age. And then we have Durga. Durga is absolutely amazing. She's not someone that I would have any problems going to. In fact, I do go to Durga for my really huge problems and for solutions. And she's not going to fix the problem for you, but she is going to help you make a path so that you can resolve your own issues. So yeah, she's gotten me out of some pretty sticky situations when it comes to my health, when it comes to the health of some of my loved ones. She's a huge protector in such a magnificent way. She is a little bit tough love, but you know what? When you are asking for protection, you want somebody who is going to be able to stand firm and do what needs to be done to help you walk your path. So that's what I go to Durga for.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's nothing in the material universe that can stand against this energy. It's just overwhelming. So when we talk about all these other beings that are really just lower fourth density, that they're insignificant in comparison as far as what can be done. And again, it's not about being caught in the fray, it's about rising above the fray. And so this energy can protect you and help to lift you up and out of being in the midst of that fray. Again, the vehicles that we are in are just temporary vehicles. These mantras, again, are just a few. They're just a handful. So there is a difference. Like when we call on Hanuman, we're calling on energy of strength and perseverance. Like say you feel like, you're in a situation right now where it's you against the world. And, whereas Durga, you're basically in that position where it's like, okay, I'm up against the bullies and they got me outnumbered. There's nothing I can do. Calling on that energy is very, very powerful and protective. This is more the energy of augmenting your own energy and helping you to overcome, finding that strength within, finding the perseverance within, kind of doing it yourself. But yet, Hanuman will protect. We've had multiple times, many times. We are constantly under attack from dark energies, constantly. It's just because of what we do. And, we have cleared thousands, I would say, of quote unquote demonic energies during our helping other people, which we've worked on thousands of people in, basically like the last decade. So it's something where we are always under attack. And yet we have had Hanuman help us. And Hanuman's actually even sent protective beings that you might not see unless you're able to perceive that which is in the 4D to protect us against other 4D beings. So, this has been a very real blessing. And again, it's by doing his mantra. Now, he's helped us in times when we were moving from one place to another a lot too. And he can also help you find your right place, so to speak. Hanuman is all about protecting the original intent of Vishnu, of Rama, of Krishna, again, of the divine masculine, the original intent, which is protecting the mother.
And you know what he does when you set out, say you set out for a mission, you set out for an accomplishment, to do something, you ask Hanuman to help you guard that, put a protective bubble around you so that you can, with your own will, set out and accomplish this thing, whatever you are trying to do. But always circle back to your intuition. This is just how we have divided it up. And Hanuman is great for going from one place to another, making big moves, small moves, as far as relocating somewhere. So that's how we utilize it. And hopefully you guys have gleaned something, because it is a long road when it comes to an awakening and finding a spiritual practice that works for you. Be patient with yourself. Be so patient with yourself, because there's a lot of information to sift through. When we go through the educational system in this world, it's a minimum of 12 years to, learn all the systems that they want you to learn to utilize their systems and make money for them. But look at the spiritual practice. Look how much information is out there. So if you're just getting started and say you're a year into it, you have many more years to go to sift through information, to feel your way through, to build your intuition. So just go slow and go easy on yourself and let things fall into place.
So hopefully you guys got something out of this. We thank you for your support again. Much love. God bless and namaste.
Namaste.